Australia is at a tipping point. If you're a Christian, conservative, or nationalist, you already know something's gone seriously wrong. Just look around. Sky-high housing prices, packed roads, rising crime, collapsing values, and a government that seems to care more about global approval than its own people. This election, your vote is more important than ever, because the truth is, we're not just choosing who runs the country, we're choosing what kind of country we want to live in and what kind of country we'll be handing over to our kids. You're told to vote Liberal. You're told it's the safe bet for conservatives or Christians, but what has that actually delivered? Let's break it down, let's expose the truth, and let's talk about how to vote if you believe in freedom, faith, or preserving the future of our once great nation. Like and share this video to help more Aussies understand what's at stake. Quick disclaimer, this video is made from a Christian, nationalist/conservative point of view and in no way is a direct reflection of anyone in Australian Guard's political views or opinions. If you want to support us so we can continue to make content like this one, check out our Patreon, link in the description below. The trap of the uni party. Let's start with the Liberal Party, because for some decades, conservative Australians, Christians, and some nationalists included, have defaulted to ticking the Liberal box or at least preferencing them as number 2. We've been told they're the lesser evil, the only realistic option, which may be somewhat true, but what have they actually done when in power? Well, under their leadership, mass immigration increased and hit record levels of its time last time they were in term. Same-sex marriage was also legalized under the LNP, wasn't blocked or fought for, just folded to. Drag queens, story times, and gender ideology made its way into schools. Religious protections were promised but never delivered, and they pushed vaccine mandates and lockdowns. This is what the quote-unquote Conservative Party delivered, all of which completely goes against Christian, nationalist, and conservative views. I mean, Peter Dutton himself has flip-flopped on the immigration topic leading up to this election, first saying, oh yeah, we'll reduce it by 100,000, then going back saying, actually we'll decide after the election, and then saying recently, oh no, we'll do 100,000 less than Labour. But we've had 700,000 people come in 2 years ago, and then last year, 600,000 immigrants come into our country. Those are absolutely unsustainable and ridiculous numbers that are majorly affecting our nation in so many ways, especially considering we only have like 28 or 29 million now in this country. He's also had this to say about Indian migration.
We're blessed in this country to have almost quickly rising, not quite a million, but getting toward a million people here of Indian heritage, and we're very fortunate to have them here, and we want the numbers to continue to increase.
He's mentioned bringing back the Chinese golden visas back, which supports rich Chinese benefactors, allowing to buy property in the country. He's promised $8.5 million of taxpayer money to fund Australia's first Hindu school, and he backs and supports the Welcome to Country. So it's important to know that both two major parties, LNP and Labour, are financially funded by the same foreign people who have controlled and completely changed our nation over the last 60 years, and a lot of other Western nations too. Some people call them the elites. Labour, Greens, and the Teals are worse than LNP. We know that. But the Liberals have proven they're in no way the party of traditional family, faith, or anything close to nationalistic values. That's a non-negotiable. None of them stand for the values Christians, conservatives, or nationalists care about. Core issue number 1, mass immigration. Mass immigration is the number 1 issue for this election. Many nationalists and Christians and conservatives say it's the root cause of the housing crisis, the cost of living increase, low wages due to oversupply of cheap labour, demographic change where Aussies are being replaced in their own country, cultural breakdown and division because many of those coming in don't hold our Christian or Western values which this country was built on, rising crime rate in cities and suburbs, and a growing sense that Australia no longer feels like home. Immigration is not just a border issue, it's a nationhood issue, a culture issue, a cost of living issue, a values issue, and it's out of control. And because of it, most people in Gen Z, in my generation, aren't ever going to be able to afford a home in their own country. Under Labour in the last 2 years, we've had over 1.5 million people enter this country, and it has absolutely cooked us. Even under the Liberals last time, when they were in charge, the numbers went up, and Peter Dutton himself was the immigration minister at the time. Under his watch last time, the floodgates were wide open. Want to know why this is so beneficial for Dutton? Well, Peter Dutton's wealth is largely attributed to his extensive involvement in the property market, with confirmed transactions totaling around $30 million. The more they let in, the more his property prices rise. Last time, the coalition let in migrants who bring anti-Christian ideologies or anti-Western ideologies, people with no interest in integrating, brought in their foreign religions, majorly Hindu/Sikhs and Muslims, and those who in the future may push for Sharia law or other things like that. And it's crazy because do you know what Indians do to Christians in India? They torture and unalive them. It's very similar and just like they do in Muslim nations as well. So this isn't about race, it's about values. Because when your country is flooded with people who don't share your culture, your faith, or the love of your nation, it changes. And that's what's happening. Core issue number 2, our freedoms are under attack. Here's another major reason to not put the major two parties up there is they are both part of the same global agenda to track, monitor, control everyday people like you and me. Digital ID is just the beginning. They've recently passed a law where soon we will need to be having a digital ID linked to all our social media accounts, our phone number, our Medicare, and our tax file number to, quote, verify the age of people to keep young people off social media. Sounds like a great idea, right? Well, let's just wait until they cancel your bank account for quote-unquote hate speech, flag your posts as misinformation, and track your every post and messages. And if Christianity becomes hate speech tomorrow, your account is already linked. You'll be flagged before you even realize. And under the new laws, which are so poorly and subjectively defined as the new hate speech laws, most nationalist and traditional right-wing rhetoric that everyone in all of history in the West always has believed in and held to is already now considered hate speech. They say it's to keep young people safe, that it's to protect against scams or to keep young people away from explicit videos online, and boomers and Gen X and even some millennials just fall for it. But let's be honest, it's not about safety, it's about control. We all know young people are waking up online because they're seeing the state of their nation and they're seeing facts from the past and the facts in history and becoming a lot more right-wing. And the governments aren't very happy about that because the Conservative Party now, that's supposedly right-wing, is very far left-wing if you go back about 60 years ago. And this control is already happening in England, where people are getting jail time because of common sense social media posts or maybe an opinion that is controversial online. You know, do you want our nation to become like that? It's heading in that direction, but I don't think you do. Key thing to note is that every major party supports this, including the coalition, the Liberals. Don't be fooled. Let's be straight up, it's obvious. Labour is anti-Christian, anti-nationalist, anti-conservative. The Greens literally hate Christians and Christianity and anything traditional or Western of that matter. The Teals are full-blown far-left globalist women, and the Liberals say they support Christians and conservative values, but don't, and legalize everything that destroys them, as they've proven in the past. You don't have to compromise your values of faith or nationalism for, quote, electability. You don't have to back a fake conservative party because you're scared Labour or the Greens will get in. If you're a Christian or conservative or nationalist, your vote must reflect your desire to preserve this nation for your family, for your children and even your friends' children and your grandchildren in the future, and your values and faith. Minor party votes have continued to rise since the 50s, and I think this election will be by far the highest in this, because a lot of people are unhappy and a lot of people are throwing out the uni party. And if you don't know, the way that our voting system, before we get in actually how to vote coming up in a second, the voting system we have in this country with preferences is actually designed very well. Some people think it's designed to keep the uni party up top, but it actually isn't. And the problem is that too many people put their favorite, Freedom Party or Nationalist Party first, and then the LNP second, or Labour or whatever, or Greens. And that actually is really unhelpful. However, if people put all the Freedom First, Australia First minor parties first in their preference line, then we could actually see a real change and real shift in the country, and eventually see one of these guys reach power. So we need to put actual conservative, Christian aligned and nationalist, values-based parties at the top, and the Liberals be below them. So what do we do? How to vote? You vote for Freedom First, Australia First minor parties. So that means Gerard Rennick's People First Party, which I believe is by far the best if you're a Christian nationalist or conservative. Then second to that, Pauline Hanson's One Nation, then Trumpet of Patriots, then the Libertarian Party, then the Family First Party, which is a Christian party. Now, if you prefer any of these above one another, that's fine. Put them number one, whatever you preference, but you have to put the other ones second, third, fourth, and fifth, because this is how we actually see a real change, and this is how we get rid of the uni party. These 5 parties are really the only parties standing up for your right to speak your mind, your right to refuse mandates, significantly less immigration, no welcome to country, your long-term right to worship as a Christian, and your right to preserve our values here in the West. And you put them at the top of your ballot. You rank every one of them before the big major parties. And that's why the bottom 4 on your ballot should be Liberal in 4th last, the LNP, because we do want to put them above Labour. That helps with the preferential voting system. Then Labour under them, and your vote will not go to Labour if you vote Liberals one above them, so you don't even need to worry. You actually will impact, if you want Liberals in over Labour anyway. In the end, even if you put the top 5 freedom friendlies parties first and then Liberal under. The Teals below Labour, and the Greens, you can put them last 2 in any order, but as long as you're at the bottom, that's what's important. And in the process of voting this way, we can help win seats for the freedom-friendly minor parties, which actually helps our nation with laws being developed and passed through. This election is not about who you think will win, it's about sending a message, and the message should be loud and clear. We will not vote for the destruction of Australia. This isn't an election, this is a line in the sand. Australia is at a crossroads. You know it, I know it, you feel it. Mass immigration, digital surveillance, anti-Christian laws, anti-nationalist laws, censorship, and the imprisonment of nationalists performing nationalist activities, it's all happening. And voting for the same parties that created the mess will not fix it. You don't have to vote like everyone else. You don't have to choose the lesser evil. Choose freedom, choose values, choose truth, and most of all, choose Australia. If you care about Australia's future, like and share this video. Help more Aussies understand what's at stake. After sharing, you can check out this video taking a deep dive into every party's policy on immigration before this election. Reminder to check out our Patreon, link in the description below if you want to support what we do so we can keep informing the public about what is happening in and to our nation. And God bless, and God bless Australia.